I was thinking, like, since we only have 20 minutes left, if you don't mind me just kind of showing this AppMap thing that Clint's newsletter had. That's how I found out about it, was through Clint's newsletter. I don't know if you'd seen it in other places, but yeah, I don't know if that's cool with you to do or not.
Yeah, let's take a look at it, right? But
Man.
AppMap, if you're not a subscriber to TLDRSEC, you should be. That's Clint Gibler's newsletter. There's always good cloud, AppSec, security news, offbeat news articles in that about once a week. So
Okay, I'm just sharing screen 2 here. All right, I think, or will be in a sec. Okay, yeah. So I just wanted to real briefly cover some of the commands. So first of all, AppMap is, the idea is that you get kind of like a, not just source to sync kind of view. And I'm still, admittedly, I'm still playing with it, right? So I'm still learning all of what it does, but it's kind of gives you, like I said, a source to sync view. It gives you, it's pretty interesting. It uses PyTest, so it gives, like, as you're running it dynamically, it actually starts to create a map. Just like it sounds, like a map of where your requests go and then what happens there, which I'll show here in a second. But it was very easy. Once you go to AppMap, you click install the VS Code, the VS Code plugin. We're using VTM, which is an app that Seth, my co-host Seth here, and his coworker Justin Larson maintain. It's like a vulnerable Python app. So anyways, use it for training and stuff like that. But so the important bit is it's Django. That's important to know because there's like 4 that I think languages that are supported. There's like Ruby, Python with Django and Flask, Java, and something else I can't remember. It's on the site. So anyways, the way you have to, there's like a, I think I did a, hold on, give me a sec here. Just go back through my list of commands so you can see how much I was like messing around here. Yeah, so I did a pip install AppMap. So there is actually a library that you install. So there's a VS Code plugin. There's a library that you install, whether it's Node or Python or whatever it might be. Oh, that's the other one, Node. That's what I missed. So yeah, so then you install that, and then this is the other weird thing. When I tried to run it, I got this error about not using the insert function on a tuple, which I think is a tuple, like is that the hash key value kind of thing? And then a list is like the array, right? Like, so they call it in.
Yep.
Why I'm saying this is there was like there was just an error real briefly when I tried to fire it up because of, I want to say on this line there was this if AppMap Django middleware, not in the settings, then it'll try to run this insert, but the insert's on the wrong type of object. So anyways, all that's important is, like, if you run into that, that's why, right? Okay, so, and by the way, I was just trying to close down this tab on the shared screen. So anyways, I was like, well, I'm not going to fix their code. I'll just add this into the middleware. So under the actual project, I ran, added that to the actual settings middleware section. Okay, so that's how you get it all kind of installed. 3 things, right? So cool, it's running, awesome. So what does it do? So once you actually start recording, it does some runtime analysis, right? So I'm actually debugging the app. I ran the run start debugging, and so the AppMaps plugin started doing some actual mapping. So what's interesting is that as you browse around the app, it starts to build this cool little map, and I'm going to try and make things a little easier to see here, hopefully. So you can see that if I can scroll over, there's a get to this path that it recognizes, and it starts doing kind of the flow, right? It does a here's where the request goes. There's like a HTML file template that gets rendered. There's a database lookup. It's very basic. Obviously, I'm still very early in trying to figure out how this all works. It will do some runtime analysis too. So like as it discovers things that are wrong in your code, and I don't think it's just security issues. I think it's actually just like structural issues and things like that. It'll actually put that in the runtime analysis bit, which is in a, you have to sign up for it. It's like a beta thing, but it's pretty easy to sign up for it. So yeah, and I'll just show, hold on one sec here. Maybe I can get a incognito window going. And we're going to get some make this. Right. So as I navigate more and more through the site, that's when the actual runtime analysis occurs. So let me kind of close this down so you can see this list kind of grow as I, what was it, test 1, 2, 3 or something? Really super strong password. All right. So I'm just going to start clicking on stuff. Maybe I'll edit this task here. And you'll see this is still, this runtime analysis is growing and growing and growing, and it's recording. And I think this even helps you create tests as well, if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, it's just it was easy to get going, I feel like. And it's just kind of fun to see like how it actually builds these lists and how it creates these maps. And yeah, it's just kind of a cool, and obviously it's very basic right now, but I don't know, just cool. It seems like cool tech, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anything to add there, Seth?
Well, yeah, I mean, stuff like this is so useful when it comes to actually doing code review, or even like a dynamic hybrid analysis, like some sort of open box test where you have the code, since it gives you a visual representation of what's going on. So being able to tie the, I mean, we use this a lot of times, like the server requests, like through Burp Suite or whatever else. But the fact that it's tied to the code is so useful, right? I know. I can't tell you the number of hours that I spend in a hybrid assessment. So I have code, but there's a running instance that's running up in, their QA or dev instance. And I find some endpoint in dev or QA and then have to go back and trace the code manually because I don't have a running instance of it actually locally. So something like this, if you can get it to that point or have AppMap installed and get that sort of visual representation, will just speed things up. Like even as simple as the SQL query that you've got up on the screen right now, because it knows where that's actually like that source to sync trace is happening. And we spend so much time doing that source to sync kind of like input injection issues in the code review process that it's really invaluable, and it'll just help even if it's not a quote unquote security tool. All these developer tools are just helpful.
Yeah, and I know this is they have a trace view too. Oh, that's cool. That's cooler for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So now we're getting in the meat of some cooler stuff here. Nice. Man.
Yeah. The SQL selects like exactly what's being returned.
What the actual backend updates kind of look like. Very cool. Yeah, and something like this, I could see, since it does everything in JSON, I could see that being parsed. Basically, the output being used in a different way. So anyways, I just wanted to, we don't have to spend a ton of time on this. I thought it was, since we talked so much about code review and different tools and stuff like that, I thought, hey, this seems kind of neat. Like this is kind of fun to play around with, and it's not that hard to get it going. So why not show it?
Yep. Well, and I mean, this is why you always want to ask the developers, right? What they're like, what tools they're actually using when they develop software. It's pretty critical, right? Since it'll give you an opportunity to look through their lens as to what they're actually seeing, speed up your own research into a code base, but also inject security in at a level that you understand it, and then talk to them at that same level, right? So if they are using something like AppMap, using that in your demonstration. If they are using Postman for their APIs, you should be using Postman as well as you interact with those endpoints, because it'll give you that same view that they have. And when you find a vulnerability, they'll be able to pick that up very quickly and actually, fix it, analyze it. Like it just helps everyone in that process. If you're still using VI to do secure code review or code review in general, there's very few situations where I find that useful anymore outside of a quick look.
But no, I agree with you. It's important that you use, especially when you're doing code reviews, you should be using ideally what developers are using to develop the product. Especially, I hope people are moving more towards, I don't know, it's personal choice. But I do like code spaces because you can kind of have a shared environment in the sense that like all the startup files and stuff can be the same, right? So you can open a repo and have like all the environment files kind of whenever somebody opens up a code space in that repo, it'll have all that stuff just preloaded and kind of just work out of the box. So that's been nice. But
Yep.
you know,